Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's do it.
Let's go. All right. So I'm going to start. Hi guys. So the Bob and Derek Show. Bob and Derek. I'm Bob. This is Derek. We're pleased to introduce a special guest, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Pepitone. Eddie, thank you for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. This is I don't know. This ranks right up there with getting one of my teeth extracted, in an emergency fashion. Recently.
Interestingly, a lot of people describe us that way. I wanted to quickly ask you a couple of questions. You were born in Brooklyn. You're from New York originally.
Holy, you talking to me?
Yeah, nice.
You talking to me?
Now
I love by the way people's stereotypes of New York. There was this kid a young comic from Atlanta who had been living in New York for a few months, and his entire impersonation of every New Yorker was, "Hey, who the fuck are you? Who the hell are you? Who the fuck?" Can we curse on this, by the way?
I believe so. And
apparently.
If not, just bleep it.
Apparently. Who are you? Who the fuck are you? But I want to point out, New York has a very large, thriving intellectual community, as opposed to Los Angeles, where no one has cracked a book since the Eisenhower administration.
Now that's what I wanted to get to. You are a transplant to Los Angeles, and a lot of people fall into the transplanted New Yorker. I miss New York. I miss the vibrancy. I miss the intellectualism. Then there are the people who embrace Los Angeles completely, and then there's the people who prefer Los Angeles. So you fall into the former category. You miss New York.
Well, yeah, but L.A. has become home to me, though. Like, I do miss New York, but it's so weird once you move to a place, and I haven't gotten back to New York as much as I wanted to. So my friends and my life is here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do miss New York, but it would take me getting a job that it would take me moving back there to really kind of be there again. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
But LA, I like, except for the brutal traffic. Like every time I have to get on the road, it's like it just sucks my soul out of my ass, and then
that's an uncomfortable procedure, I hear.
It's a very uncomfortable procedure, but if you have limited health care, you can get it done relatively cheaply. So anyway, I've stopped complaining. I used to complain about it because that's a very tired thing to hear someone complaining. A New Yorker, it's such a cliche thing here.
Right.
Hear a New Yorker bitching about how they miss New York. That gets very old quickly. You know what I mean?
Now, I've been looking through your IMDb page. I mean, look at this. This goes on for miles and miles.
Does it?
It's quite impressive. Now, Last Comic Standing, was that your first break, would you say?
No, my first break, I think, was the Conan show,
sure.
where I got a call. I was doing some horrific Nickelodeon spot, like a Nickelodeon, the kids network.
Sure.
I was doing a little show for them, and I got a call. A couple of my friends were writing on Conan, and they called me in to do a monologue, a funny monologue about being. You remember Life Cereal and Mikey?
Sure. Give it to Mikey. He loves it.
Well, I had to be the guy who lived next door to Mikey 30 years later, and I was bitter about Mikey getting the gig for the Life Cereal box. And that was my first big thing, and I was at the NBC studios, and it was like, whoa, I'm on network TV, and this is really exciting, that kind of thing. And then, Last Comic Standing, I always badmouth Last Comic Standing because I hated...
With good reason.
Yeah, I hated the reality show aspect of it. I hated that.
Can I ask a question, Bob? Thanks. Is that the one that Dat Fan won?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dat Fan, famous Dat Fan.
Yes, Dat Fan because.
Oh, I am a fanatic. PH.
Yeah, he loves Dat Fan.
Are you a fanatic spelled PHAN?
Dat.
Fanatic.
Dat is right. Spelled DAT.
That's all, folks.
To lose out to Dat Fan, I mean, come on. That's. I mean, where's?
Well, that's why I hated it too.
Yeah.
I mean, because it had nothing to do. Well, first of all, the whole idea of pitting comedians at competition is hilarious. Like, could you imagine, like, okay, today we have George Carlin versus Richard Pryor in a cage match. Get the fuck out of here. Or George Carlin and Richard Pryor having to do some dipshit, like, reality stuff. So I hated it.
Well, you've if there was any sort of injustice, I'm glad to see that you are getting the last laugh because again, this IMDb page goes on for miles, and I want to talk about how's this for a segue? Bitter Buddha, which is the latest.
Well, now that's an amazing thing that Steve Fine Arts, the director of it's a documentary about my life and my career and. It just came out of the blue. This guy, Steve Feinart's guy from Chicago, had seen me on WTF, Mark Maron's podcast. I would do The Last Word with Eddie Pepitone. And Steve was like, I want to do a movie about you. He was also doing reality shows like Dancing with the Stars nonsense.
Sure.
He was driving him crazy, so he wanted to do something meaningful. So he said, I want to do a movie about you. So it just came out of the blue, and he wound up doing a great job. And now the movie is screening all over. We're going to Austin next week, and then we're going to the Friars Club, the famous Friars Club in City, the week after, and then it's gonna get a wide release in February. And we're screening it. We've screened it in Chicago, in L.A., and Edinburgh, Scotland, and London. We screened it. You know, not to drop European countries on you, but
Derek, have you heard of any of those?
European countries?
Yeah.
I think we're one of them.
All right, very good, very good. I wonder if I can turn your camera off. Well, hold on a second.
No, I want to talk about Dat Fan a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut your mic. There we go. There we go.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So now, what makes the Bitter Buddha, Eddie, different than say Seinfeld had a documentary that came out? There've been a number of comedians that have done documentaries. What makes the Bitter Buddha different?
Well, the Seinfeld one, well, obviously Seinfeld is a very famous guy, whereas I am not. Mine is more about the struggle, what it is to be a day-to-day comedian, whereas the Seinfeld, which was I loved that documentary, and he also had the foil in that, Orny Adams. The only foil in this one is me versus myself. Right. And so it's just, it's kind of a combination of a lot of my stand-up and then just seeing, how I deal with, my dad is a big part of this documentary and my crazy relationship with my dad. And so it's kind of more of a nuts and bolts, a grittier, real look at a comedian, I think.
Do you think your comedy comes from your dad? Okay, well, I turned his microphone off. Derek, if you'll behave, we're going to turn you back on. All right. So, and I don't mean that in a sexual sense. Getting back to.
By the way, can we get a transcript of what Derek was saying? Because
it's bullshit. Is it? Can you hear me? It's bullshit, Bob. You asked me.
Now we can hear you.
You asked me to be co-host, right? Be co-host. It'd be good to get a Canadian perspective, and then you fucking cut me out. No, it's funny in a way, but it's also a little disrespectful.
Yeah, there we go. Nice. All right. So, back to Eddie. So, on a serious note, now that annoyance is over, can we? Your humor has a bitter edge to it. Do you see this coming from your father?
Oh, that's a great point. Without a doubt, a lot of what I'm doing is channeling my father's rage. Like my father gave me his rage, and now I have run with his rage.
That's your gift to us. We benefit from your rage. Yes.
Yes. It's old Sicilian rage. If you trace this rage back, I believe it would be, some little villa in Catania, Italy, where some guy's going, I'm going to fucking, don't you? I said 6 tomatoes, not 5 tomatoes.
Hey, it sounds like one of those New Yorkers from earlier.
Exactly.
Yeah, so definitely, my dad is such a big influence on me.
Well, I can't wait to see it. Well, we only have you for a couple more minutes. See, it went fast. That wasn't so bad. I wanted to ask you, did you watch the debates last night? Did you happen to see?
I saw little bits and pieces because I have trouble watching it because, I was a very big Obama guy when he got elected, and then he proved to me that he was nothing but he was like kind of a gentler corporate shill than the Republicans. He really didn't do... He had a chance. Obama had a chance to be FDR because we were in a horrible, and we still are, in a horrible, I call it a depression. These idiots call it a double dip recession. I love all the terms like, oh no, it's not a depression. This is a double dip with a little chocolate sprinkles. It's like ice cream terms at this point. It's a double dip with a waffle cone depression. You know what I mean? It's like, no, but I feel like he had a chance to be like a guy who really could have stood up for people, but he did not. So, I don't have the same enthusiasm now. And so now he's debating this psychotic Mormon from Utah, or Massachusetts, wherever the fuck this suit is from.
Same difference.
And so I don't get excited because I feel like, I want, of course, like, it's the lesser of two evils. So I just watch bits and pieces. But what a lot of comics do, which I think is bullshit, is they look at this debate like it gets live tweeted. It's like theater. It's like it has nothing to do with substance anymore. It's all like, did you hear what... it's like it has nothing to do with people's welfare. It's like, oh my God, Obama came out swinging. Like, you ever hear the talking heads talk about these debates? It's like they're talking about a sporting event. It's like politics is sports, and it's divorced from any meaning. It's just all spectacle now. It's just spectacle. It has no substance. So I did watch a couple of moments of the debate, and I am rooting for Obama because I find Romney to be a bully.
I'm with you. I'm completely with you. He was a bully. He cut someone's hair back in the back in the day.
He looks like a typical entitled, bully, and bullies need to be stood up to. So I heard that Obama really stood up to him last night.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Obama was so bad the first debate.
Oh.
You can imagine his handlers were like, dude, you gotta come out swinging. It's like a boxing. It really is like a boxing match when you get into it. And they were like, look, dude, I don't know what happened to you. They probably injected Obama with something.
That's right, steroids. Yeah,
Jack Kennedy used to take steroids, but not the meningitis kind.
Well, Eddie, we loved having you here. Eric, I appreciate your comments. And do you have any last to say to Eddie?
I was hoping we could talk about pudding a little bit. There's no time left, really, but you can just a moment about Matt Oswald's pudding. I'll try not to talk too much over you.
Pudding is rude, crude, and wrong. I love doing them, and I always do them with trepidation. Like every time Matt presents me with the script, I'm like, oh my God, what have you written now? But we're actually trying to sell pudding to some television networks, like some cable networks who might be interested. So we're in the process of doing that now.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Eddie, thank you for being with us. We really appreciate it. And
thank you guys
out there, look for the Big Buddha.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Bob, let me talk more next time. Seriously.
Bye.